Obozeghie.
Today, by His grace, I am the Director General of the Obozeghie Campaign Organization. In that capacity, I have power and authority to run the affairs of this campaign. But today, publicly, I surrender all that power and authority to the God Almighty. Father, Lord, neither me, nor Peter Obi, nor Obozeghie, nor your children here gathered know where, how to get to where we want to get to. But you are the all-wise God. You are the omnipotent God. We are like but David before this Goliath. But we will, with your mercy and support, we shall conquer.
All right, that's Doyin Okupe right there, the former Director General of the Obozeghie Presidential Campaign Council. Now, he announced his resignation from the Labour Party on Monday, citing ideological differences. He stressed that remaining with the party became exceedingly difficult, in his words, after their loss at the 2023 presidential election, and told the candidates, Peter Obi and others, that the Labour Party was only a special purpose vehicle, SPV. They all joined to lead the people after they left the PDP abruptly. Part of what he said in his statement will be that he has always been a rightist and a liberal Democrat all my entire life. It is therefore this ideological conflict that makes me seek an exit so that I may continue my political activities with liberalism, sincerity, and freedom. I think this is indictment of the Labour Party right there. MP says, you don't see the ideology before you enter. And then for another user, he says, there is no ideology. Uncle Doyin, the word you are looking for is opportunism. This ideology narrative you guys are trying to force into Nigerian politics is like Pete Obi's mandate. It doesn't exist. And more thought from Onoshiorena right there. It says Nigerian Labour Party was a special purpose vehicle, an orphanage for internally displaced politicians, IDPs. The Nigerian Labour Party is Airbnb. It was a short-term rental for displaced and disgruntled official PDP Nigeria and official APC Nigeria people. And then for some, it says you probably resigned so you can accept appointment with this regime so your conscience would kind of judge you in doing mad yourself. I learned to do mad yourself is people self. And then for brain data, it says no matter what anyone has to say, you played your part in the obedient movement. You led the pact when others didn't believe. You stood like a rock for the youth, and good enough, you had not resigned publishing a gross, honorably so. You deserve your flowers. And it says, kudos, sir. All right, then, so let's go to Betta Edu. After her suspension yesterday, she was denied access to the presidential villa. Now, this was just the news on the space of social media. This is Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation Minister Betta Edu was on Monday denied access to see President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the presidential villa here in Abuja. It was confirmed that a statement announcing Edu's suspension was released just as she was within the president's office complex waiting for access to see him. However, it was denied. Now, in some parts of the social media, the security detail and official vehicles she rode to the villa were immediately retrieved from her, and she was driven away in a single car. But that's not something I can confirm to you at the moment, except for the withdrawal of her access card to the president. Her suspension is coming over widespread criticism after a leaked memo on December 20, 2023 revealed that she directed the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin, to transfer 585 million naira to a private account. Now, as directed by the president, She's been invited to the EFCC for thorough investigation, as she will be making her first appearance this morning. Meanwhile, her predecessor, that's Sadia Umar Farouk, has also appeared before the minister she was the pioneer minister. She finally appeared before the EFCC yesterday, Monday, to answer questions on 37 billion naira fraud allegation while she held sway as the minister. Women doing things right there. Okay, some reactions to this development. Brendan says this is a good move by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Next step should be to scrap the ministry. It has proven to be the most corrupt institution in Africa. Even if we make an agenda, an angel, a minister under that ministry, it would end same way. And OJ says the ideal thing to do, if she is found innocent after the conclusion of the investigation, she can be reinstated. To all those who believe she is being scapegoated, victimized to cover the real crime perpetrated, now is an opportunity to expose and unveil the real criminal culprit. And more thoughts is coming from Margaret, who says, unpleasant news. This suspension is just taking Nigeria several miles back after a lot has been achieved while in office for a few months. Investigation can be done without suspension, seeing clearly that the young minister is performing and will attract enemies, definitely. And then for Governor Sukwa, it says, we hope that the president will ensure that thorough investigation is done and report of the investigation is made public. Nothing should be swept under the carpet because of some powerful individuals that may be involved in this saga. Good step, Mr. President. Well, still with the minister and her ministry, a new document from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation that surfaced after the minister's suspension shows 438 million naira was used by the ministry for consultancy fee from the alleged fake 3 billion naira social register contract. It was soon said that the company is owned by her interior counterpart, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, but he has denied it. Part of what he said, would be having that in 3 slides. He says that, giving an account, he says he has long resigned, and he says that was about 5 years ago. And yes, I founded the company 10 years ago in 2019, and when I got to the House of Representatives, when I won the election precisely, I resigned. I resigned 4th of February 2019 with a certified true copy to Corporate Affairs Commission as far back as 2019 to prove this. Then he continued to say that I do not run the company. I don't have any knowledge of the contract. I am not a signatory to any account. I am not a director of the company. Final thought from him would be that I have no business with it, absolutely no business. Because I am not involved in the day-to-day running of the business, I do not pursue jobs for the company. I do not bid for the company. I am not a signatory to the company's account. I am not involved. He says he's only a shareholder at this point. But Sunny Angel says, of course, people use proxies and fictitious names and signatories. I'm sure if EFCC looks very well, they will find something incriminating. For Victor, he says, did your wife also step down from her position? If she's still overseeing the company's operations, it indirectly implies your involvement. It's difficult to plead ignorance about the company's activities when you share a household with the person managing it, Oga Fear God. So there's a document on the space of social media that shows Bimbola Tunji-Ojo as another director of that company. So the husband says he has resigned, but the wife is still there. And people are wondering, how can your wife be in charge? And he said, you don't know how the business is being run. But Chijoke says the president is exposing his ministers to corruption. He should limit the amount they can transact without the approval of the president to a certain amount. OBJ used 100 million naira during his time as president, above which you must seek approval. Checkmating strategy. That's a recommendation right there. Our final thought is Pretty 44, who says this man has proven hard work, commitment, and contentment since he resumed office. I believe everything he said. Okay, whatever part of the room you are, you will definitely have a fan who is rooting for you so hard. So that's how we call it a day today. I mean, it's been a week of this person stole, that person stole. 3 women leading the news on a negative note, but then we've also had amazing women. So thank you so much for being a part of the show. I'll see you again tomorrow. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, amazing woman.
Yes. You can leave that on loop.
Yes, indeed. That 1 or 2 are being investigated doesn't mean women are entirely bad. We've had a couple of men who have also been involved in, this, and humans are humans, irrespective of your gender. Yes.
And let's not
All right,
forget
so-
that these are allegations that are being investigated.
Yeah.
Yes.
And until the investigations are concluded and the outcomes are made public, we can only assume that they are innocent.
I'm
but
really
being
looking forward to
investigated.
hearing that after investigation, everybody was free, really.
Okay,
Okay.
let's see
So,
if that's a dream.
fingers crossed.
A dream that will come true.